The velvet mesquite is the largest of the mesquite species. They can live a couple of centuries in favorable sites, and although their roots have been documented as far down as 160 feet, 90% of its roots are in the upper 3 feet of soil where most of the water and oxygen are. The flowers are pollinated mainly by bees, and the resulting pods or fruits are produced in huge quantities in good years. Jackrabbits, wood rats, javelinas, coyotes, mule deer, and others all benefit from the leaves, flowers, and seeds. There are 19 protocol questions, including intensity measures, for velvet mesquite, more than any other plant in our phenology study. 7 of the questions have to do with leaves, 6 have to do with flowers and buds, and 6 have to do with fruits. So let's get started. The first question is, are there young leaves? This is defined as one or more young unfolded leaves are visible on the plant. A leaf is considered young and unfolded once its entire length has emerged from a breaking bud, stem node, or growing stem tip, so that the leaf stalk or leaf base is visible at its point of attachment to the stem, but before the leaf has reached full size or turned the darker green color or tougher texture of mature leaves on the plant. Do not include fully dried or dead leaves. For plants with compound leaves, such as velvet mesquite, the new leaflets will be evident, and as with jojoba, the best way to spot young leaves is by the bright, fresh green color. And just like jojoba, the occurrence of this phase ends when the size, color, and/or texture of all the newer leaves are no longer distinguishable from those of the older leaves on the plant. To count mesquite leaves accurately, you should know that mesquite leaves are bipinnately compound, so each Y shape counts as one leaf. Consequently, going by what we see in this picture, the correct number of young leaves would be 3 to 10. The next question is, are there leaves? This is defined as one or more live, unfolded leaves are visible on the plant. A leaf is considered unfolded once its entire length has emerged from a breaking bud, stem node, or growing stem tip, so that the leaf stalk or leaf base is visible at its point of attachment to the stem. Do not include fully dried or dead leaves. Velvet mesquite are winter deciduous, but during warm years they may not lose their leaves until right before new leaves begin to come out in the spring. Even then, they may retain some of their leaves year-round. But don't worry, you won't have to count them. But you will need to evaluate what percentage of potential canopy space is full with leaves. In order to do this, you must know what the tree's best effort full canopy looks like. A full best effort canopy includes only the live portions of the plant. Dead branches and gaps in the center should be ignored. Until you have had a full year of observing, you will have to rely on pictures from your trail lead of the study trees at their best effort canopy. If pictures are unavailable and you don't know what the best effort canopy looks like, leave it blank. Now you must determine if there are colored leaves. This is defined as one or more leaves show some of their typical late season color, or yellow or brown, due to drought or other stresses. Do not include small spots of color due to minor leaf damage or dieback on branches that have broken. Do not include fully dried or dead leaves that remain on the plant. On velvet mesquite, if the leaves are brown, they are likely fully dried or dead. If they fall from the tree at the slightest touch, then do not count them. The phenophase primer tells us that occurrence of this phenophase generally ends when either all the leaves have dropped off the plant or if the remaining leaves have dried up and become brittle. Next, determine what percentage of potential canopy space is full with non-green leaf cover. The next question is, are there falling leaves? It is unlikely that observers will actually see leaves falling off of the plant, but if they notice that leaves have fallen since their last observation, they should report that falling leaves has occurred. Note, if drought seems to be the cause of leaf color or leaf fall for a plant, please make a comment about it for that observation. Now we move on to flower and flower bud questions. The first is, are there flowers and/or flower buds? This is defined as one or more fresh, open, or unopened flowers or flower buds are visible on the plant. Include flower buds or inflorescences that are swelling or expanding, but do not include those that are tightly closed and not actively growing or dormant. Also, do not include wilted or dried flowers. Unlike jojoba, velvet mesquite trees do not set their buds for the next season after the current season has ended. So when buds appear, unless conditions have become unfavorable, they should be actively growing. Next, you will need to estimate the number of flowers and flower buds. Velvet mesquite flowers and flower buds are clustered in catkins, and in this case, you should estimate the number of catkins and not individual flowers. If you observe flowers and flower buds, now you must answer if there are open flowers. If there are open flowers, you must estimate the percentage of open flowers by estimating the number of individual flowers within the inflorescence or catkin. For larger plants, it is generally a good idea to check a few inflorescences, for example, one toward the bottom of the plant and one in the middle and one towards the top, and average the percentage of open flowers on each of these inflorescences to represent the entire plant. The last flower questions are, is pollen released, and if so, how much? The presence of anthers indicates pollen release, so if there are open flowers, there should be pollen. You only need to estimate how much. The fruit questions begin with, are there fruits present, ripe or unripe? This is defined as one or more fruits are visible on the plant. For velvet mesquite, the fruit is a pod that changes from green to tan, often mottled or flecked with maroon. Next, if there are fruit, estimate the number of fruit that are present. Now you must document if ripe fruit are present and estimate the number observed. Remember, a fruit is considered ripe when it has turned tan or if it is flecked with maroon. Lastly, recent fruit or seed drop is defined the same way for all plants. One or more mature fruits or seeds have dropped or been removed from the plant since your last visit. Do not include obviously immature fruits that have dropped before ripening, such as in a heavy rain or wind, or empty fruits that had long ago dropped all their seeds but remained on the plant. Use the question mark if you do not recall whether the fruit was there during your last visit, or leave it blank if you do not check. Remember, as long as you show the change in intensity over time on your plant and capture the timing of the peak, even if you don't get the actual numbers exactly right, that is still very useful information. That's all for now. Enjoy your time in the preserve.